Hello, everybody. It's time for another Chuck Chat, March the 18th. Hopefully next month's chat will be live and in person. Actually, we're not going to have one in April because we'll be together in so many different events throughout the month of April. But in May, hopefully we'll be live and in person in Harrisville Hall. So I always start off with a little humor. Here we go. I've got March Madness. It follows my February fits and comes right before my April agitation. Alexa, play a little Mozart. Alexa? Alexa is in the living room. You're talking to the tuna fish can. Trust me, it'll get his attention, and it's an NCAA bracket dress. So March Madness is upon us. I hate March Madness, the boss says. March, the last month before the neighbors start complaining that I haven't mowed my lawn yet. Best thing about March, you never know when a free lawn chair will blow by. We've certainly had a lot of wind lately. COVID-19 in Westminster, so we're doing pretty well. We've had residents cases. We've had about 60 cases since this all began, which is now more than 2 years ago. Can you believe that? A 2-year-long pandemic, and still going. We have one active case at this time with no symptoms and no hospitalization, so that's good news. Associates, since this all began, we've had 107 cases. One is active with no symptoms. So, they're doing tests twice a week in healthcare, and one person popped positive. No new residents in healthcare for 3 weeks now, so that's good news. Or more than 3 weeks, actually. Total testing, including resident staff and private caregivers, now exceeding 13,000. Our infection rate's 1.31%. We're testing in independent living only if symptomatic or had positive contact. 99.7% vaccinated for residents and associates, and everyone's had boosters already if they were eligible. If they're not eligible, then we're waiting, of course. Our COVID precautions have dropped down significantly. We are in stage 2 in Travis County, Austin, so that's good news. All visitors still must screen in. Please don't skip the screening in. Make sure they're going through the main lobbies and screening in. Associates and visitors must wear masks in assisted living and healthcare. Must be at least a surgical mask or better. This includes independent living residents. And, independent living residents, they need to apply their mask before they enter into the healthcare area. So the healthcare center entrance, the north entrance, that lobby is healthcare center. So put your mask on before you get into that space. Visitation is allowed with no restriction on the number in independent living. You can have up to 3 guests for dining rooms at breakfast and lunch only. Transportation services are at full capacity. We're not requiring masks, but they are highly recommended when you're on a bus or public transportation. Guests are allowed in the audience now for activity programs. Quarantine only for those who are symptomatic. Continue to practice good hand hygiene, washing and or sanitizing your hands often, especially when you're out in public spaces or you touch elevators, handrails, doorknobs, things like that. Continue to practice social distancing whenever possible. Stay home if you're ill. And if you're not feeling well and you're not sure if it's allergies or not, go ahead and wear a mask as an added precaution. If you need a mask, reach out to the reception desk, any reception desk, and they can get you a new mask. Healthcare visitation guidelines. The visitation is still limited to 2 visitors at a time, only for healthcare center and assisted living, unless they're meeting outside, and then you can allow more than that. Everyone, including residents, must wear a mask at all times while visiting the assisted living and the healthcare center. All residents must screen in. So when you enter the fire doors from the puzzle area, that vestibule by the elevator, you need to put your mask on before you enter that area. Before you come in the front door of the arbor, your mask needs to be on. If you come in to the arbor lobby, the healthcare lobby from the courtyard, you need to be wearing a mask. Please make sure you're doing that. Questions and answers. Can you remind residents to not use wheeled walkers to be transported in? Yes. Just another reminder, please use wheeled walkers correctly for assistance in walking. They should not be used to transport an individual in. If transport is needed, please use a wheelchair. They are available at the Preston and the North Windsor entrance for temporary use. If you're in an area where a resident's just tired and they can't go any further and they need assistance, then have someone call the reception desk or security to get a wheelchair brought to you, and we'll be happy to do that. But please don't use a wheeled walker as a transportation device. That is not what it's for. They're for assistance in walking. Can you give us an email address for someone we can submit work orders to? Yes, you can email either reception desk of the Windsor or the Preston. The Preston is at reception@wmanor.com, or the Windsor reception at windsorreception@wmanor.com. When can we have guests for dinner in the Laurel dining room? We hope to start this as we continue to build up our dining staff and open the bistro for dinner. Hopefully that will be sometime in May. We don't have a guarantee for that, but we're working on it diligently. When are the solar panels going to be installed? I have this in my slide deck as an update. We believe it will be in June. A lot depends on the city permitting process, and permitting in the city of Austin is always fun. Can you remind residents to keep pets on a leash? Yes, this is kind of common sense, but all pets should be on a short leash in all common areas, including courtyards. And a short leash and control means no more than 6 feet from the pet owner. So please make sure that your pets are on a leash within the common spaces. Are we replacing the carpet and transitions around the bistro and the pool? Yes, we are. We are replacing it with a direct glue down carpet, similar to what we installed in the Preston corridors. We're also working on the transition strips at the expansion joints. We've identified a solution and it has been ordered, but unfortunately replaced on back order. That should be, I believe I was told the other day that they should be in anytime next week. So it should be shortly. And then we'll have to do some cutting of some concrete to install these new expansion joints. Can you do a presentation on all the most recent scams being used? And yes, I am doing that. We'll also send out a white paper shortly on this. The next few slides will be a presentation on the scams being experienced currently. And if I miss one and you've had a scam experience, please send it in and I'll make sure to include it in the white paper that we send out. Social Security scam. Be aware of suspicious communications regarding an alleged problem with your Social Security number, account, or payments. The Federal Trade Commission reports that Social Security beneficiaries are receiving pre-recorded telemarketing robocalls claiming that their Social Security is being suspended. The Social Security Office of the Inspector General reports that beneficiaries are also receiving fraudulent letters through the U.S. mail threatening suspension or discontinuation of Social Security benefits, unless they call a phone number referencing in the letter. Scammers try to lure beneficiaries into divulging private information or providing payment in order to maintain or increase benefits. Do not be misled. The Social Security Administration will not suspend, discontinue, or decrease Social Security benefits or supplemental security income payments as a result of a recent office closure. They will never threaten to withhold benefits unless you pay a fine or fee. So just don't trust those scams. Fraudulent unemployment benefits filing. So another common scheme cropping up lately, perpetrators are falsely filing for unemployment insurance benefits in your name. Here too, the cause is clear enough. Tragically, millions of Americans are newly out of work. Many states' unemployment offices are overrun with filings. So this issue here is partly the fact this drains funds from states that could use them to benefit the unemployed, but most importantly, this also amounts to identification fraud and it suggests the wrongdoer has their hands on at least some relevant data. So be careful of that. COVID-19 scams are pretty prevalent nowadays. Some of the most common scams related to the pandemic include vaccine scams. Scammers contact seniors offering them to skip the line and get a vaccine sooner. Of course, this means giving them personal, medical, or financial information. Don't fall for it. When in doubt, use Westminster Resources, reach out to us and we'll help you. There's also a website that Robin can put you in touch with to help you find a vaccine if you need it. Buying vaccines. There have been quite a few bogus online pharmacies offering to sell online vaccines. At-home test kit scams. The FDA has authorized at-home diagnostic COVID-19 test. However, scammers posing as Medicare representatives ask for your social security number in return for a free test kit, and some even promise overnight delivery. Don't fall for that. Nobody needs your social security number to get you a test kit. Doesn't need to happen. I need your help scams. Here the con artist is asking to receive some assistance, and in the process obtains account information to access funds. Example, someone claiming to be a bank examiner, a bank security officer, a police officer calls asking for help investigating a possible fraud by withdrawing cash from your bank account or providing account information. If the trick works, the bogus investigator can walk away with the money or use confidential information to raid the victim's bank account. So don't fall for that. Counterfeit checks. In one example, you will sell an item over the internet and the buyer sends a cashier's check for more than the agreed upon price. The buyer instructs you to wire the excess funds back. If you comply, you'll most likely find out that the check you received is phony and the money you wired cannot be returned to you. Engine trouble. Pulling into a parking space, a senior exits his or her car and enters a store. The scammer, who has been waiting and watching specifically for elder drivers, swiftly approaches the car and after its owner is out of sight and disables it, typically by detaching a spark plug wire. The scammer then waits nearby, but not so nearby as to look suspicious, for the senior to return. When the car doesn't start, the scammer poses as a helpful passerby, fixes it, then demands a large cash reward. They literally get into the car and go to the bank with the elderly person. Prize and sweepstakes frauds. This type of scam may involve a congratulatory phone call or letter informing a consumer that he or she has won a prize, a large sum of money in a lottery or sweepstakes. But before any winnings are delivered, you're told you must pay for fees, taxes, shipping, and handling, or other charges. Of course, the prize never comes, or any products that do arrive are essentially worthless. So if you haven't registered for a lottery or a contest or sweepstakes, then it's probably fraud, so don't fall for it. Fraudulent investments. A firm or individual guarantees fantastic returns on investments, business opportunities, gyms, and other no-risk deals. These will sound attractive compared to what local banks are paying on deposits. At some point, the seller takes the money and runs, leaving the investor with a big loss. Charitable donation scams. Crooks are disguised as charities collecting donations or money for raffles. While you think you're helping people in need, you're really helping con artists pad their pockets. You should make donations only to charities you are familiar with or after consulting with the Better Business Bureau, which maintains reports on national and local charities. The Austin BBB phone number is 445-2911. Pigeon drop. The con artist tells the individual that he or she has found a large sum of money and is willing to split it with the person if the person will make a good faith payment by withdrawing funds from his or her bank account. Often a second con artist is involved, posing as a lawyer, banker, or some other trustworthy stranger. Email phishing scams. These are very common. Senior receives email messages that appears to be from a legitimate company or institution asking them to update or verify their personal information. A senior receives emails that appear to be from the IRS about a tax refund. And I mean, those things, don't click on those links, delete them. It's a lot going on out there. The grandparent scam, some of you probably experienced this or have heard about it, is so simple and so devious because it uses one of older adults' most reliable assets, their hearts. Scammers will place a call to an older person. When the mark picks up, they will say something along the lines of, "Hi, Grandma, do you know who this is?" When the unsuspecting grandparent guesses the name of the grandchild, the scammer most sounds like the scammer has established a fake identity without having done a lick of background research. Once in, the fake grandchild will usually ask for money to solve some unexpected financial problem, overdue rent, payment for car repairs, etc. To be paid via Western Union or MoneyGram. Sometimes they ask for iTunes gift cards, etc., which don't always require identification to collect. At the same time, the scam artist will beg the grandparent, "Please don't tell my parents, they would kill me." While the sums from such a scam are likely to be in the hundreds, the very fact that no research is needed makes this a scam that's very attractive for folks. So be wary of that. Healthcare, Medicare, and health insurance fraud. Every US citizen or permanent resident over the age of 65 qualifies for Medicare. So there's rarely any need for a scam artist to research what private health insurance company older people have in order to scam them out of some money. In these types of scams, perpetrators may pose as Medicare representatives to get older people to give them their personal information, or they will provide bogus services for elderly people at makeshift mobile clinics, then use the personal information they provide to bill Medicare and pocket the money. Perpetrators call residents, tell them they need a new Medicare card, and then ask lots of personal questions, personal information, and get that information to hack your account. So don't fall for that one either. Account takeover texts. So scammers are sending fake text messages alleging there's big trouble with your internet account, a credit card, bank account, or shopping order on Amazon. They want you to click on links and provide personal information, and they use that information to hack your accounts. The urgent sounding text message may have a real looking logo. People don't expect scammers to use text messages, so they're more likely to click. Remember, don't click on any links in emails or texts that you haven't asked for. Call your bank or credit card company to check for a problem. Installing security software on your computer and keeping it up to date is also crucial for that. That's a lot of scams. So let's move on to something more pleasant. Construction update. We're making a lot of progress on the expansion. Lots of work occurring. You can see that we've started on the exterior skin for the Carlisle building. We're installing glass. We're double siding sheetrock inside the Carlisle building as well. The roof installation and refrigeration piping, sprinkler pipes, etc., have been completed this first week of March. The second week of March, they're moving into the brick and stone and plaster on Bridge 1, levels 3, 4, and 5. So you'll be seeing that come up. The interiors, like I said, they're getting the double sheetrocks now, the second side framing of the ceilings, things like that. The Windsor building, thankfully, we are getting into the point where we're finishing up and we're cleaning up. A lot of paintings being done at this point. They're punching out their work, so they're doing quality control inspections and punching all of the items out that are outstanding. Little divots in walls are being repaired, sheetrock repairs, electrical things that need to be finished up. And then they'll be doing the final inspections on everything. So those will be running through the end of this month. Fire sprinkler final is occurring this week. Fire alarm final occurred yesterday, I believe. There's a couple outstanding items that have to be cleared up for that, but we're making a lot of progress. Timeline for the expansion Windsor phase operations. So the MHAs have been completed at this point. The April 1st, 55th anniversary celebration and the Charter Windsor residents will be attending. The certificate of occupancy should be received on April the 5th. We'll start moving in residents and offices on the April the 11th. And then the goal to have every charter member moved into the Windsor expansion is May 31st. And I think we're going to hit that goal. So Carlisle timeline, just to update you a little bit. You know, the exterior masonry, stucco, skin, all that's taking place. The drywall is being hung. That should be finished around the 1st of May. Installing the elevators should be around the middle of May. City inspections will occur in October through December. So substantial Carlisle completion is expected on the 29th. And we should be moving into the Carlisle building in January of 23 through March, the end of March in 23. So, you know, it's just what, 9 months away. So here's the latest picture of the Windsor expansion. Looking great. And this is the Carlisle, of course. Community update. So we're pulling wire for improved sound system in Harris Bell Hall and the Bistro. Most of that work's been completed. Installation of the new AV equipment in Harris Bell Hall is still pending. The equipment arriving. That includes projectors and the drop screens that are going to be installed. The signage project for the whole campus will begin over the next few weeks. They'll start with an assessment, then plan. They'll create a plan for all of the signage that we currently have, and then they'll try to bring the 2 signages together, actually the 3 different signages, because we have the Preston, the Windsor, and the Carlisle. All that signage will start to match and come together. This project will create consistent signage throughout the campus, including the expansion. So it'll be duplicated. Spectrum cable box installation now on the 5th floor of the Preston building this week. We expect that the Windsor will be likely starting the last week of March. Also occurring soon will be Spectrum Wi-Fi. We'll begin installation over the next few weeks. We'll send out more information on that, where they'll start and what areas they'll be working on when as we go along. This Wi-Fi is going to be brought to every resident's apartment. This is an improved Wi-Fi system. We'll have 2 Wi-Fi systems, one for the central corridors and the common spaces, as well as Wi-Fi, Spectrum Wi-Fi in each apartment. The keyless entry system will begin in April for the Preston building and the Windsor. They are completing the expansion first, and then we'll roll into the Windsor and Preston buildings after that. The solar roof project will begin on the Preston building in June, we think around June the 6th, assuming that the permits are approved and we can get that started. We just recently added our first hybrid vehicle to our fleet. You can see a picture of it here. It's a Lincoln hybrid, Lincoln Corsair. It's 2022, and it gets a combined electric and gas miles per gallon of 78. So that's really good. Dining services update. So still please make reservations for tables of 5 or more. No reservations are required for 4 or less. You no longer need to make reservations for the bistro. It's open for breakfast and lunch, and it closes at 2 p.m. For parties of 8 or more, please contact Sarah Faust for a reservation of the private dining room. No guest at night, so no guests for dinner still. And a maximum of 3 guests per resident is allowed in dining rooms. We're also rolling out something called an extraordinary service incentive program. And this is for dining room associates. So for hospitality ambassadors and servers, nobody wants to be a server anymore, or a waitress or waiter. So we're calling our servers hospitality ambassadors. That's really what they do. And we are starting a hospitality ambassador training program. that will introduce new folks into our system and teach them a new skill set. The Westminster Extraordinary Service Incentive Program is meant to be a bonus incentive program for hospitality ambassadors. So a way for us to compete in the market with restaurants. To achieve, hospitality ambassadors must meet quality standards for their position. The associates are eligible each pay period for the incentive. The incentives are achievable, so they're pretty simple. Professional dress, wearing your name badges, showing up for work on time, no unexcused absences, being friendly and hospitable. Part of this service incentive will be scored on service ratings achieved through the cards that residents will complete. So cards that will be on the tables, you'll be able to write your hospitality ambassador's name down and then score them 1 to 5 stars based on their service. Westminster does not allow tipping. So this is a way that we believe this new program is a way for our dining staff to be rewarded for great performance and to add another layer of compensation and competitiveness in the marketplace and attract more good associates and reward those associates for being good. And the better they are, the more incentive they have to be good. So really hope that you all will help us and support this effort for the front of the house employees and the servers, hospitality ambassadors. I'm sorry, not servers anymore. They're really easy cards to fill out. So at the top, you'll fill out the appropriate server, hospitality ambassador, their name, and then fill out the appropriate score for the staff member. You'll also rank your dining experience 1 to 5, just like we do on resident satisfaction or resident experience surveys. Step 3, fill out any extra comments. So, maybe the fish was dry today, or maybe the fish was excellent today. Write those comments down. Anything that comes to mind. Fill out your name. Remember to write your apartment number and date, and then turn those into the box. So comment card in the box is provided in the Laurel and the Bistro. If you need assistance for that, you can ask your service associate for assistance. So anybody. Appreciate you participating in that and supporting that. 2022 achievements for us so far, really been a good year. It's we've only finished a couple months, but we're doing really well. Recently, we were notified that Helen Spear was awarded the 80/80 award by Family Elder Care. So congratulations to Helen Spear. If you see her, pass along the congratulations. And also Ruth Sanil, our Community Life Service Director, is receiving an award for service excellence from Leading Age Texas, and that'll be given to her in May up in Dallas. We'll be attending that. Congratulations to Ruth. Ruth does a fantastic job and quite frankly is one of the best activities directors, community life services directors that I've ever worked with in all my years. And it's been quite a few years. So great job, Ruth. Just a reminder, star cards can be used for any associate, including those in management and supervisor positions. Star cards can be turned in at any reception desk. They're processed, we count them. Associates get points for them, and then we use them for star cards awards, stars of the year awards for each department, and thus the associates themselves actually receive the cards. Speaking of star cards and star awards, this was in our newsletter. If you missed it, just a little reminder, our star winners. So those star cards that you turn in, these are the overall star winners. David, Community Life Services. Then we had Betsy, star winners in General and Administrative. Felipe in Food and Beverage. Lewis Perkins in Environmental Services. Paula Perez, Hussein, Natalia, and Brooks, all won stars of the year for each of those departments. So congratulations. So your star cards do matter. 2021 Associate of the Year is Patricia Wilson. She works in the healthcare center on the second floor as one of our charge nurses. She does a fantastic job. Our Cornerstone Award winners were Erica in General Administrative, Gary in Food and Beverage, Cedric in Environmental Services, Carlos in Community Life Services, Oliver in Plant, Prinza in Assisted Living, and Cheryl in Healthcare Center. So congratulations to all those folks. Our Extraordinary Leadership Award this year went to Olga Villarreal, General and Administrative Services, and sadly, luckily, she gets to work in my office, and she's a great help to me. So, and does a fantastic job of leadership. Let's see, Safety Leader Award was Peter Campbell. He's the Director of Plant Operations. Innovation Award was Danny Roach in IT. Extraordinary Service Award was Maria in Community Life Services. Community Excellence Award, Maria Diaz in Food and Beverage. Impact Award was Tessa Gonzalez, General and Administrative. So Tessa works in our marketing department, managed the selection process for our expansion, did a fantastic job. Making a Difference Award, Rachel Gill, Community Life Services. Brian Wicker received the Tory Award, and he works in plant ops, of course. The Devotion Award was Claudette Brown. She's a caregiver in healthcare. The Above and Beyond Award, Kevin Swede, who works quietly and really well in our laundry department and environmental services. So congratulations to all those folks. It's our 55th anniversary in April. I've talked about it a lot. I'll talk about it some more. So it's going to be a fun party month, all month long. These are just a few of our events that we're having. I think that we'll be really aware that it was our 55th anniversary. And so we're having a lot of fun, trying to schedule a lot of fun for all the residents. It's really to give back to you, our residents, for making Westminster successful for 55 years and growing. So just a few of the events. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but be looking for some of this stuff that's happening. Of course, the April 1st is the kickoff. Westminster's 55th anniversary. We'll do a presentation in Harris Bell Hall about 2 o'clock, and followed by a party and Windsor expansion tours in the Windsor courtyard. So look forward to seeing you all there. We're also going to do Rejuvenate. That'll be free massages for residents. And that should be interesting. I don't think we've done that before. Hawaiian dance show, where you all are having a wine tasting fundraiser, which I think is nearing sold out. So that's great. We're also doing a comedy night with Bob Stromberg. He's supposed to be very funny. And that's kind of my gift to you. I like to give you all something. We're also going to be giving you a history book. That's the residents committee here created. It's a really fascinating book and story. These will be handed out after the Residents Association meeting on April the 4th. And then they will actually be around to sign. The contributors will be signing the books after the event. So that should be pretty neat. If you see a new flag up shortly, that's Westminster's new flag. I get tired of hearing about people not knowing what we are. So maybe thinking that we're a nice condo or part of TxDOT. I can't believe that's true, but actually I do hear that. So we're putting up a flag by our on our flag poles by the US flag. And then also we're going to be putting up flag poles on each one of our buildings to kind of differentiate ourselves from those that surround us. We also, I think I shared this last month, Westminster's 55th anniversary logo. You'll be seeing on various things, including a bookmark that we're going to be handing out with the Westminster at 55 book. And then you'll be seeing it on emails and things like that. So first quarter 2022 fundraising results. So we were fundraising for CASA. which is court-appointed special advocates for children. Total donations were $6,865. Those will be given to that organization very soon. And hopefully we'll get a picture of that. Thank you all for participating and supporting this great cause. Speaking of great causes, we're working on another one in association with our April 1st, 55th anniversary. We're going to be working this second quarter on Westminster Associates Scholarship fundraising. Westminster is a place to chart a career path and a place to grow and realize your full potential. And we love doing this tuition reimbursement program for our associates. Associates that have completed their 90-day introduction period are eligible. The funds can help with tuition, books, and application fees. Associates must maintain a C average, and associates are eligible for $3,000 per year. As we grow the funds in this program, we hope to increase the cap to $5,000, and we continue to grow our relationship with ACC, adding scholarships, and hopefully adding to the endowment fund started by the Residents Association. So we're going to be fundraising with Residents Associates and our strategic partners to add to this fund. And with the funds that we raise, we'll be increasing the Associate Scholarship Fund and also hopefully adding to the endowment fund that the residents started. We've already asked many of our strategic partners and vendors to donate $5,500 in honor of Westminster's 55th anniversary, and we received positive responses from quite a few, including Life Care Services was first to send a check to us. We'll be asking residents and associates to help us support this effort. Many of you have done that in the past, and we appreciate it very much. Donations to Westminster's Associate Scholarship Program are tax deductible, so we'll be providing letters to everyone that donates. Thank you for considering that, and I'll be sending out a letter shortly to talk about it. Thank you, as always, for making Westminster an extraordinary place to live and work. I appreciate you all very much, and I will see you April 1st. Looking forward to it. Goodbye.